Hello everyone, it's Vicki here today, designing for My Creative Scrapbook, which is a kit club and I am guest designing for them. I will give you all the details of the club below so that you can go and take a look. But this is the August kit and it contains lots of Maggie Holmes Round Trip. So I'm going to scrap a photograph of my dog at the beach. He can't actually go on proper holiday on a plane with suitcases, so this is his type of holiday. Excuse me. So I am first of all hoping to put a banner across my page. I want to have this banner as sort of a grounding point for all my embellishments, and I'm going to hand cut this. So I just sort of roughly drew the centre of a banner shape out of the blue paper there, and I'm going to add the little sort of flaggy ends on the edges, if you see what I mean. So what I did to do that is I just drew another shape exactly the same so that it was the same size, and then cut the little V at the end of each side, and then you'll see what I'm going to do here. So there you go, that's sort of the effect I'm looking for, and I'm just trying to figure out how to attach them. It takes me a minute to figure out what to do here, but I do, and then I decide to use the reverse side of the paper to complete the banner, if that makes sense, rather than make it blue, which is what I was planning to do. I thought it would look really cute with that floral there. So there we go. So you can see the floral is going to go in there like that, and I think that completes it really, really well. The floral is just the reverse side of this paper. So I'm just going to stick it down, stick them together, and then trim off the excess. And I'm going to do that both sides. And yeah, I think that looks really cute. Very simple to do once you draw your basic shape. I love this collection, it's really pretty. It's very sort of travel themed, but it's also actually, I think it could be used for lots of things. There's lots of florals in there, and yeah, it can be used for all sorts of layouts. So I'm just using my white pen to do a little border around the banner, just to make it stand out a little bit more on my page. Put that white pen forever, and it never seems to run out, and it's called, let me see, Uniball Signo Broad. Anyway, it seems to work really well, so yeah. So this big chipboard piece I'm going to use as my main title, and it says Explore, obviously you can see that. And I'm also going to cut some florals from this paper here. I love a bit of fussy cutting, and I love florals, so I'm going to cut those out, and I'll skip through that in a second. I cut out 4 different florals, 2 in pink and 2 in yellow. And I'm going to use those on the page. And there we go, power of video. We've skipped through a little bit. So I've got some florals in place now, and I want to do some inking on the background behind my photo. So I just use this little brush, which is like it's meant as a makeup brush, but I use it for inks. Excuse me again. And I'm using it to just add a little bit of haze behind my photo. It's very subtle, but there's some colour there. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Start to reassemble. I often build my layout quite a lot before I start to stick anything down, because I like to see what the overall effect is going to be. So I'm going to cut out this little piece of from a cut apart sheet. It's just sort of a pale blue with a globe on. You don't see very much of this on the final layout, but it just adds an extra bit of blue up there where I put the ink. And I'm going to pull out some embellishments. This little frame from the chipboard that I'm going to use underneath the photo. I'm just putting talcum powder on the back of these chipboard pieces so that they don't stick to the page until I want them to. I want to be able to move them around at the moment. So if you just wondered what I was doing there. I've got those suitcases that I want to use. Even though he doesn't pack a suitcase to go to the beach, there's lots to take for a dog. If you're a dog owner, you know. When you go out with a dog, there's lots to take. I think about using that little tag, but I don't. And I think about also using these binoculars. I don't use those, but I do use some on there. So this title, this adventure, I want to, I think about using that instead of explore, and I don't, but I do use both in the end. For now, it's back on the sticker sheet. I just love those big titles that Maggie Holmes does. Okay, there's a little bicycle from the sticker sheet, which I love. Buster's clearly never ridden a bicycle, but it looks cute on the layout. Bit of artistic license here, I think, going on. My dog's snoring. Buster is actually here and snoring in the background. If you can hear a strange noise, I apologise on his behalf. This is his default position when I'm scrapbooking. Okay, so a bit more arranging of the flowers and the bits, and now I'm going to start to stick things down. So I start sticking this the banner to that little background piece, and then I realise that I don't want to do that because I want to pop the banner up. So I'm going to use some sticky back foam to do that, and I've got a big box of offcuts that I'm finally getting around to using. So it's all very multicoloured on the back, but no one's going to see that, so all good. Looks quite pretty though, right? There we go. So that's popped up. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape and stick that to the page. And that sticks that blue piece down at the same time. Buster's still snoring. I'll perhaps give him a poke in a minute. So that frame I've cut in half, well not in half, I've cut the bottom off to put underneath the photo, and I'll keep that top section, which I will also put under the photo. And I've also added some tissue paper under my photo to add a bit of separation between that and the banner below it. I love these little tickets, so I'm going to cut those out of this cut apart sheet, and I'm going to use those on the layout. Fold it up in the centre and then stick it down like that, because it just adds a little bit of dimension to it when it's down onto the page. Let's go under there. Still just deciding where everything's going to go. Yeah, so I'm going to put that bit of frame just at the top there. Stick both bits down. There we go. So I like how that looks, and so I'm going to stick my photo down now on top of it with some double-sided tape. And I'm going to stick the suitcases down. I add some glue as well to these because I always find that chipboard stickers fall off pages over time. So I just want to make sure they stay in place. Just curling up the edges of the leaves on the florals before I stick them down, just to add some dimension there. And as I said, I'm going to stick the ticket so that the middle bit sort of still stands up and the edges are a bit creased as well. I'm going to stick my big title down, a bit of glue on that as well, to make sure it stays. And I'm going to put the bike at the top. I'm going to add a bit of foam to that as well, just so that that stands up off from the florals. Cute, I'm happy with how that looks. That's where I'm going to put my adventure title, just below the tickets. And I think that works well there. I'm going to add some florals from the sticker sheet just to increase the look of the florals on each of the three big ones. I'll do the third one in a bit, I think. Just notice my photo is not quite straight, so I'm straightening that up. In the process, I made the suitcases wobbly, but I do pick that back up later. That little blue sticker says details that I just touched by the photo. And I'm going to use these binoculars, which are from the sticker sheet, and I think that they work better because I can tuck them behind the title. And that's the little camera I've stuck in there. We're nearly to the end, I think. There, another floral down there on the left for the cluster. And now I'm going to do some splatters to finish off, and I'm just using Faded Jeans ink from Tim Holtz, Distress Oxide. I'm just going to add some water and then splatter that around the page. And that's it. There we go, the final layout's there. I hope it inspires you for using your August kits. I really enjoyed using these, and I just want to thank Pam for having me to design for her for this month. I've enjoyed it immensely. There will be some more layouts coming up over the month. Please do check those out. But in the meantime, this has been Vicki for My Creative Scrapbook. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.